is this? This is quite the spreadsheet formula. Well, this was shared in the Teller community, community.teller.com. And as cool as this is, maybe we want to break down a few of these elements to help understand it better, because spreadsheets are cool. Teller syncs your finances to Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, and it's full of formulas. So here's a fun tip. Double click to see what formula is driving that insight. Something cool about Teller is you can add your own formulas. You want some insights into your money, you can just insert your own sheet or a community template and make it your own. Of course, spreadsheet formulas are not restricted to Teller spreadsheets. So understanding formulas not only helps you take Teller to the next level, but helps you to take all your spreadsheets to the next level. So let's take a look at this formula that was shared in the Teller community. The entire formula is wrapped in a map function, which uses a LAMBDA function. Now, these two work together to apply a calculation to a whole range of cells, one by one. First up is map, M-A-P. So what is it? The map function takes an array, like a range of cells, and applies it to a custom calculation defined by a LAMBDA function to each item in that array or list or range. It then returns a new array containing the results of these calculations. The first input is your array or range you want to apply your function to. Now, LAMBDA is really cool and powerful function, and it's relatively new. It's definitely worth your time to play more with LAMBDA functions, which allow you to define the calculation on each element in the array. The Teller community member used the range, otherwise called the array, of L2 to L. The formula is designed to look at all the cells in column L, starting from row 2 all the way down. In this context, column L contains a list of years, 2022, 2023, 2024, for which they want to perform a specific financial summary. The LAMBDA part defines what to do for each of these years. Next, let's look at LAMBDA. The LAMBDA function allows you to create custom reusable functions without needing to use formal script editors. It's like defining a mini program or a named calculation right within your formula. The function it creates is anonymous because it doesn't get a permanent name in the spreadsheet's function list unless you assign the whole LAMBDA to a named function. LAMBDA starts with your parameter or parameters. These are the inputs your LAMBDA function will accept, and you define their names as named ranges. The second part is the formula expression. This is the calculation that the LAMBDA will perform using the parameters you defined. In this case, the parameter is a named parameter of year. When map iterates through the L2 to L range, each value it picks, say the year 2023 from cell L2, is passed into this LAMBDA and is referred to as year within the LAMBDA's formula expression. The rest of the formula inside the LAMBDA is the complex calculation that will be performed for that specific year. So map and LAMBDA together are saying for every year we find in column L from L2 down, perform the following big calculation. This is incredibly efficient for generating a column of results based on a list of inputs. Inside our LAMBDA, the first thing we encounter is an if statement. I love if statements. It's probably one of the formulas I use the most often. This directs the flow based on a condition. The if function checks whether a condition you specify is true or false. If it's true, it returns one value, and if it's false, it returns another value. This brings us to ISBLANK. ISBLANK is a simple function that just checks if a reference cell is empty. It returns true if the cell is blank and false if it contains any data. So we have equals ISBLANK parenthesis and then the value. And usually that's a cell reference like A1. But here we have ISBLANK year. And remember, year is the current value from column L that map is processing. That checks if that particular cell, like L2 and then L3, is empty. It's a good idea to have this validation step. So if the if statement is asking, is the current year cell from column L blank? Now, if the year cell is not blank, we move to the powerhouse of this formula, SUMPRODUCT. SUMPRODUCT is an incredibly versatile function. Its primary job is to multiply corresponding components in two or more given arrays, ranges, lists of numbers, and then return the sum of these products. It's often used for conditional summing where multiple criteria needs to be met. Now, let's break down the arrays being multiplied inside SUMPRODUCT. These typically start from row 17 of your Tiller spreadsheet, which is often where detailed transaction data resides. So we have year greater than or equal to the value of $A, $17 to $A. This is our first condition, checking if the transaction falls within the year. The dollar signs make it an absolute reference. I love absolute reference. So it doesn't change if the formula is copied. It says this is the range. It's always the range. It's not going to shift. Now, value converts a text string that looks like a number or date time, which spreadsheet stores numbers, into an actual numerical value. So value A17 to A ensures that if any dates in column A are accidentally stored as text, that they're converted to their proper numerical date representation so that a valid comparison with year can occur. Similarly, B17 to B would be the end date for transactions or periods. Value B17 to B again ensures those are numbers. This checks if the year is less than or equal to the date. And multiplying the true-false arrays from component 1 and component 2 effectively filters for rows where the year is the start and end dates defined in the columns A and B. Now this is fairly straightforward. It's the array of actual numerical values from column C starting at row 17, and these are the numbers that will be summed or added up if the conditions are met. Let's take a look at this guy. This filters based on whether a category in a specific list, so in this case, D17 to D is the range in which you have your transaction categories like groceries, salary. Now, column Z is the range where you have your master list of categories that you want to specifically include or analyze. Now for match. Match searches for a specified item in a range of cells, a lookup array, right? And then returns the relative position of that item in the range. So match D17 to D, comma Z2 to Z, comma 0, attempts to find each category from column D within your master list in column Z, and if it finds salary from D20 in the list of Z2 to Z10, and salary is the third item in that Z list, match will return 3. If it's not found, it returns NA. So if you have this error, then if error changes this to 0, effectively excluding it from this row. X17 to X is the range in column X that denotes the type of transaction. For example, income, expense, transfer, and the equals income, this is directly comparing whether or not the values in column X say income. So this is going to result in an array of ones, if it's true, for the income rows, and zeros, which is false, for the others, thus filtering the sum for income only. Wow, this is going to fetch a specific factor related to the category. So again, D17 to D is the transaction categories, and Z2 to Z, comma, AC to AC2 to AC. These are an array constant, and it creates a virtual 2-column table right inside the formula. The first column is your master category list from Z2 to Z. The second column is from AC2 to AC, so from row 2 for the rest. Almost there. So this POW, this applies a time value adjustment. E5 is going to be your annual rate, and 1 plus E5 is going to create the compounding factor. So something like 3% would be 103%. AF10, this cell contains a base year or reference year. So year minus AF10 calculates the number of years between the current processing year and the base year. So finally, POW, or power. What is this essentially? Is it's calculates a base number raised to a power of an exponent. This is the standard formula for compound growth or discounting. So for each row of data from row 17 downward, SUMPRODUCT multiplies these 7 resulting array elements: date filter 1, date filter 2, amount, category filter, income type filter, category factor, and time value factor. And if any filter results in 0, that's row's product is 0. Otherwise, the amount adjusted by factors and time value is calculated, and SUMPRODUCT then sums up all products for all rows. Okay, so let's put it all together for 1 year processed by MAP. MAP picks a year from column L. If checks is blank and the year, if it's true, if error results in a divided by 0 error, so that year's output cell, if year, is not blank. SUMPRODUCT begins our work on the financial data, in this case at row 17, and it filters for rows where the year is within the start date, column A, value processed, and end date, column B, and the value processed, and it includes the amount from column C, and it filters for rows where the category in column D matches a category in your target list from column Z, using if error to turn non-matches to 0. Now, it filters for rows where the type in column X is exactly income, and it multiplies by a category-specific factor by VLOOKUPing the category in column D in a virtual table, which is column Z and AC, to get a factor from column AC using if error for non-matches. And it multiplies by a time value adjustment rate using POW based on a rate in cell E5 and the difference between year and a base year AF10. SUMPRODUCT adds up all the resulting products from a valid and adjusted row, so MAP stores this sum and moves to the next year in column L, repeating the whole process. Okay, so this Tiller's user's formula is a masterclass in data aggregation. It's not just summing income, it's summing income for a specific year, only for certain categories, then applying specific financial rates to those categories, and finally adjusting the whole thing for the time value of money. And this is how you get incredibly precise and customized financial insights.